This is a series of 100 films about Japanese places I've been, and this is a film about a place where you can spend $500 on dinner. Ebisu is a neighborhood in Shibuya Ward, Tokyo Prefecture, in the Kanto region, the area around Tokyo, on the island of Honshu in eastern Japan. It's serviced by the Yamanote Line, the Shonan Shinjuku Line, the Saikyo Line, and the Hibiya subway line. The first time I went here was my first month in Japan. I was told by a housemate that Ebisu was a nice place to visit in central Tokyo. So, after a 45-minute train ride, I was ready to spend a Sunday afternoon wandering around. My impression was that it definitely had some nice areas with trees, but I didn't go crazy for it. I liked that you could walk to Shibuya in less than half an hour. Asking my coworkers, I found out later it's one of the wealthier places in Tokyo, and this was a surprise, with the exception of one neighborhood called Denenchofu, a place with lots of large houses. It's hard to know what areas of Tokyo are wealthy. Bangohan. I've heard that in New York City, people often define their social class by which street they live on, as if anybody would know the difference between West 57th and 137th Street, or the benefits of 3rd Avenue. Especially when no one has a front lawn. Well, Tokyo has a bit of that syndrome as well. Sure, people in Aoyama or Minato Ward might be richer than, say, Shibuya, but when you look at the houses, can you really tell the difference? Ebisu wasn't always all that fancy. It used to have the Ebisu beer factory on the hill above the train station, hardly glamorous, and then in the 90s they shut down the original factory, turned it into a museum and kept the beer company offices, added luxury apartments, a high-end Mitsukoshi department store, and a faux French chateau, and built a huge open-air promenade partially sheltered with a glass ceiling. And they put in a lot of fancy restaurants as well, most notably a branch of the Joel Robuchon restaurant chain. That's a famous chain of French restaurants that are very expensive, and they have more Michelin stars than any other restaurant chain. This guy died in the late 2010s, but the quality is still there. The restaurant takes up 2 floors of that faux French chateau, and lunch will be anywhere from $100 to $150. Dinner goes up to $400 or $500. Now that I've made you fear for your bank balance, one thing that's good about Ebisu, why it has such a prestigious reputation, is because you're spoiled for food choices from many different countries. Bangohan, all made by Japanese chefs, and they do these foods really well. Be it Spanish, Jamaican, or Neapolitan pizza, you'll likely find it in Ebisu. And you could spend half a decade, just eating out every night and never try the same restaurant twice. Another thing about Ebisu is that it's equally distant from basically every part of the Tokyo metropolitan area, from Disneyland, Atami, or Kumagaya. Ebisu is a good place to go for a quieter meal, but don't be surprised to find salarymen passed out on the train station staircases late at night. Either way, people will be jealous when you find out you live here. How do I get there? If you're new to Japan, you'll probably want to start in Tokyo from Shinjuku Station, since it's the busiest train station in the world. Take the Yamanote Line in the Osaki direction to Ebisu Station, about 9 minutes. As always, remember that this information may be out of date by the time you're watching this. The word of the day is bangohan. It means dinner in Japanese. So if you want to remember this word, feel free to watch this video 10 more times and repeat along with me. Or at least that's what I do. Next time. So that's it until next time when we visit the best place for nerdy girls to hang out. So until then, sayonara.